Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
All right. So we are doing NFL first round quarterbacks. It's the first time we have done a quiz, by the way. So we are going to predict who's a first round quarterback since 1983. I doubt we will get down there. We'll probably start at the top and go from there. Okay. Let's go.
Matthew Stafford. I
Matthew
believe Aaron Rodgers was a
Stafford.
first rounder.
I don't think so. Was he?
I think so.
Okay. Why did I spell
Two T's.
Matthew Stafford?
Um,
Aaron Rodgers. Okay, that was one.
Okay.
You need room to see?
Was Cam Newton a first rounder?
Let's put it in there. Cam Newton. That he was.
Okay.
2016 St. Louis Rams was Jared Goff.
What's the latest year that they have there? I can't see with your ginormous head.
I'm sorry, brother. I don't know how to. Okay.
You just covered it up more.
I don't know what the. Okay.
What's the latest year they have? Just tell me what the latest year they have is.
Probably
is it
20. It is 2024. Current. Yeah, 2024 Denver Broncos. That's Bo Nix, right?
Bo Nix.
All right. Yeah, they just have current. Just think of current guys. Okay, Caleb Williams.
Drake May. Jaden Daniels. Go Josh Allen. He's on there.
Josh Allen,
Lamar Jackson. Kyler Murray was a first rounder. RG3 was a first rounder. Was Robert Griffin the third one? He was a first rounder, right?
Robert Griffin. And then how do I do the threes, dude?
I. Yeah.
Nah, that's not it. Did I spell his name wrong?
Just go Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Okay. Sam Darnold should be on there. Trevor Lawrence. Jordan Love should be on there. I don't know. Brock Purdy was the end of this. 2016
Brock Purdy's
Broncos.
Not on there.
2016 Broncos. Oh, Mitch Trubisky should be on there. CJ's on there.
How do I spell Trubisky?
I don't know.
All right, we'll just go
CJ Stroud. Tua. Oh gosh, I don't know how to spell Tua.
I'm not gonna be able to spell that, brother. Let's keep going. Probably
who's the Chargers?
Peyton Manning for sure.
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
I will type in Eli Manning while you think.
Baker was a first rounder in there.
Okay, did I spell two L's?
Phillips.
I have two L's in there.
You said Philip.
Oh, Philip. Baker Mayfield.
Okay. Johnny Manziel. 2018 Cardinals. Who's 2018 Cardinals?
2018.
Oh, Josh. I don't know his name. Is Alex Smith a first rounder?
Alex Smith. Russell Wilson, right? No.
He was a third rounder. Broncos. What's his name? Drew Lock. Drew Lock should be on there. Jalen Hurts was a first rounder.
Drew Lock isn't on here.
Oh, okay.
Tim Tebow?
I don't think he was a first rounder, but you can try.
Okay.
Trey Lance.
He was.
Okay, Trey Lance.
Drew Brees, right?
Yeah, should be. Yeah, I think so. No? Okay.
Drew Brees isn't. We gotta think Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is.
Okay.
2017
there's a bunch of 2017 and
2018 Cardinals. Let me
Deshaun Watson is in there. Should be in
there. That's not how you spell his name.
Deshaun Watson.
Let me scroll down. Okay, now we have JJ
McCarthy, and then you have
how do I spell McCarthy? McCarthy. How do I spell?
There's an R there.
Oh, McCarthy. Okay, how do I spell his last name?
No Y. No E. Sorry, no E.
Who's Pittsburgh Steelers? Kenny Pickett, right?
Michael Penix. Yeah, Kenny Pickett. Michael Penix. I'm just gonna look. New England first round in 2021. Maybe Jared Stidham.
Okay, did I spell Michael wrong?
AEL. Jeez, dude, you're a dropout. Holy Moses.
Spelling Michael? That's a regular way to spell Michael.
No, it's always AEL.
No, it's
Um,
not.
23 Indianapolis Colts Anthony Richardson. Oh boy, we're terrible at this, man.
Well,
Holy
we need
cow.
to think of like the guys from beyond.
Jared
like,
Stidham.
2 R's or no?
Yes. ED. Nope.
Stidham.
Eh, Holy cow, Zane.
Just tell me how to spell Stidham.
I can tell you there's no comma or backslash.
Okay, that's obviously I'm hitting the wrong button. The
TDM.
TDM. Why would you think his name is STITDM?
I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
You
You're
said,
so dumb.
You said TDM. You said TDM. Stitum. So there's a T. So it's STITDM.
STIDHAM.
DHM. He wasn't a first round.
AM, Zane.
You are
No,
you.
STIDHAM. HAM, Zane. Stidham. It's not a first rounder. Holy fuck.
Steve Young. Steve Young isn't a first rounder.
We're terrible.
30 seconds. This is all your fault.
I'm not taking that. I'm not
This is all
taking that.
your fault. This is all your fault.
You're giant melon. I can't see anything.
Shut up. Shut up.
Cam
What's his
Newton?
name? We already put that in.
Okay.
Cam Newton. What's the Colts guy? He retired really early.
Oh, Andrew Luck.
There's no time. Dude. Fuck.
Yeah, you can't spell.
I can't spell. You can't give me last names. All right. We got an ad. We got an ad, everybody. All right. Hey, Defender 130, give us some money, dumb fuck. You're in the back of our podcast. Okay, let's go. Welcome to the pod, everybody.
I'm Devin. That's Zane. This is Buffet Sports. We post every day, if not twice a day, on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And if you want your comment to be a part of our show every week, go ahead and comment. Leave your take on the whole show, any of our segments down below. If it's good enough, it'll be a part of next week's show. Of course, while you're down there, like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't. We're on the quest to the first 1,000 subscribers. We just passed, I think it was 644 today, if I'm not mistaken. So we're more than halfway there. We want you guys to be a part of it. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the noti bell too, so you're notified when we drop a new video.
And buy
Jump
the
in.
Defender 130 space for shared adventures while seating for 8.
So let's start out with our newest segment called Boom or Bust Punishment Picks. So I am going to give Zane 10 different statements. He tells me boom or bust. I will specify if there's anything special about each one. So starting out, CMC, the number 1 fantasy running back, boom or bust, Zane?
Boom, for sure.
Boom. Okay.
I could see a Brees Hall coming in there, but I mean, you can't go wrong with CMC.
Yeah, I agree with
Unless
that.
he gets injured, there's literally no shot. He almost broke the most whatever it was, the
Consecutive touchdowns record.
longest consecutive touchdown record. And then the 49ers, for whatever reason, just like said, no,
Couldn't
you
get him
can't
one.
have it.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so next, Malik Neighbors this year, boom or bust, just in general.
Boom, because I think
Really?
the only who's Daniel Jones going to throw to? There's nobody else except for Malik.
But is Daniel Jones going to be able to complete a pass?
I have a little segment on that later on. It seems like no, but it's the same thing. It's like you got a clear number 1. I doubt that he will get underutilized in that offense. With Dayball, Dayball's had Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and when Dayball was there, Stephon Diggs got utilized a lot. So I think it's going to be kind of the same scenario. I think Malik Nabers is going to get a lot of play, even if Daniel Jones can't complete a pass. I think they're going to still find a way to get him utilized.
Okay. French toast with chocolate chips, boom or bust?
Bust.
Bust?
French toast with that with that like white powder that they sprinkle over it.
Sugar, powdered sugar.
Yeah, yeah. French toast with powdered sugar. That's a boom.
That's a boom. But
I-
bust
I-
with chocolate chips.
I mean, I'd bust for both. You know what I'm saying? But it's a bust compared to French toast with powdered sugar.
Okay. Corona limes versus claw surges. You have to pick one for boom and one for bust.
Because I've been trying to cut down on the amount of alcohol I intake per week. It is a lot more than the average American. I will say Corona limes are a boom. White Claw surges are a bust.
Oh,
We got to
wow.
be safe out here. We got to be safe out here. All right. No one else
That's
knows
right.
except for you. Got to cut that up.
All right. Okay, next up, Aaron Rodgers tying his career record for passing touchdowns of 48. Boomer bust this
Bust.
year with the
Bust.
Jets. Bust.
I think
I
he's
agree.
going to have a crazy year and they might make it to the Super Bowl, but having 48 touchdowns in a year, coming off an injury, it's such a
It's hard to do in
gamble.
Madden. It's hard to do in
It's
Madden.
really hard, dude. I mean, if what Greeny said was correct, and Devontae Adams is going to be on the team before Halloween, then I might change that pick. You know, because that. But until Devontae's on that team, I would say it's a bust.
Okay. Madden 25, boomer bust.
Bust. I'm already hearing talks about it being a bust.
Really?
Yeah, everything's
Okay.
slower. Apparently the commentators are cringe.
Really? That's too bad. That's too bad.
I sent you a video. It's like, yeah, apparently the commentators are cringe. They've taken a lot of things from NCAA, but it's just slower in general compared to NCAA. So bust.
Drunk French fries, boomer bust.
Oh, boom.
For sure.
Boom. Bro,
For sure.
You've been, especially if you're drinking beer, right? You've been taking down grains all night, liquid form, and then you go and you just pound just like 160 greasy ass flipping starches. You just put that into your system. Oh my God. It's going to soak up all the alcohol by the time you wake up. 100% a boom.
100% a boom. Okay. Black Friday football, boomer bust.
Because Black Friday is not Black Friday anymore and nobody
Mhm.
actually really goes out, that's a boom. Gives us something to do.
Okay.
Because it's like everybody thinks Black Friday is like it's a day on a calendar. It might not be like a holiday, right? Where we
Mhm.
get the day off, but it's still like a day for like Americans.
Mhm.
So it's a boom because it's adding something to that day. Because now, like most people don't go out shopping on Black Friday, but they can watch football. They can go shopping
That's
for
fair.
beer.
That's fair. Dudes are going to be like, honey, just go. I'll be here.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives the
I got to
dudes
go to
something
bed.
do.
I got to go to bed so I can wake up and watch Black Friday football.
Yeah, you know what it's saying. Yeah, Thanksgiving feast, bro. Oh my God, you got
Yeah,
Let me go to
Right
bed,
after-
wake up.
exactly.
Black Friday football. That's a boom.
Black Friday football. Speaking of Thanksgiving football, our Lions Super Bowl appearance, boomer bust.
Oof. They've only gotten better. They have only gotten better, and they almost made it. I'm gonna say boom.
Boom?
I think Detroit needs. I think Detroit needs a boom right now.
Yeah, they do. They truly do.
Yeah, they truly need a boom. I'm gonna stick with that. Let's go
Okay.
boom for the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Boom, Lions Super Bowl appearance. Our final boom or bust for the week. This is a special one. It's near and dear to your heart. Boom or bust. Will Levis, 20 touchdown passes this year.
Boom. Don't even have to think about it. Will Levis will show you guys why he's the best quarterback in the league. He doesn't do the fancy, good for camera pass behind the back like Patrick Mahomes. No, he runs into a 330-pound defensive lineman when he just threw a pick. That's the type of quarterback that he is. He throws picks and he goes and he gets it back.
Who do they have this year? They've got D-Hop,
Yeah, they got
Calvin
D-Hop.
Ridley. They've got Tyler Boyd. They've actually got a solid receiving core.
Yeah, I can't say
Alec
his last
Burks.
name. It's a tight end. His last name starts with an O. I can't say his name, but he's a dog.
Oh, yeah.
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 Plus,
They've got a decent receiving core now
the
that I think about
the
it.
only problem is that they have a new coach, right? Because
But
Vrabel's out of there.
But he was the Bengals offensive coordinator, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
That is true.
He's
Yeah,
going to be
was.
really good. I think that Titans will be. I think the Titans are going to be like in a lot of games, but unfortunately, just not closing games. I think they're going to be in a lot of games though.
Yeah, from watching them last year, it was like that. Like during the middle half, you're like there would be a couple plays, you'd be like, son of a bitch, we could win this thing. And then it would get to the fourth quarter, and it's like, son of a bitch, we can't win this thing, can we?
Yeah. Okay.
They are a very boom or bust team.
There we go. Boom or bust.
Alrighty. This is the thing that we've been waiting for since the end of the last season. There is a segment
Drum roll,
we do
please.
here. There is a segment we do here. It is a comedy segment, to be very clear. And it is da 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 ba 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 da 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 ba da ba. White Man of the Week is officially
go.
back, starting out in the second week of the preseasons. What we have, we're doing something a little bit different here. We are doing wins and fails of White Man of the Week. As you can see, I don't know if I showed it, but let me show you the disclaimer. There is a disclaimer here for White Man of the Week. Not always white. They're not always white. All right, disclaimer.
No.
Disclaimer for White Man of the Week. Not always white. Sometimes they're not. You know, Josh Dobbs, the astronaut, the American war hero, he can make the list for sure. But this is a segment showing the great athletics and the great ability that white men have in the league, to where we go through every week and we look at the white people that excel, but are somehow just average compared to everyone else in the league. And we give them praise for being average. This week's loss, the fail, goes to the boy. Not him. Where is he? Daniel Jones.
Oh no.
In the preseason, he is the starting quarterback. And I gotta say, we were wrong. We had a segment talking about Daniel Jones's rating in Madden NFL 25. And we're like, come on, give this guy some slack. Then he played in the preseason.
No slack should have been cut.
No slack should have been cut, because this is a starting quarterback in the NFL in the preseason. And he went for 138 yards, 0 TDs, and 2 interceptions, which is
For the entirety of the preseason so far?
Yes, and he's only played 1 preseason game. So as you can see, he is 11 for 18, 61% completion rating. Not bad, 138 yards, 0 TDs, 2 interceptions. As you can see, where is it?
Just wait till he gets the legs turning.
Yeah. Let's wait till he gets his legs turning. But Daniel Jones has had a rough start. I had a photo of like his rankings, like where he was ranked
For Madden?
No, per like what he's doing, like
QBR?
Yeah, I had his QBR where he was ranked, but I'll just go off of memory. He is ranked incredibly low for yards and passes, but he's ranked incredibly high for interceptions in the preseason. There was a play. They are backed up on their own 1-yard line.
Oh God, I saw this.
He takes the snap, and then somebody breaks through. So then he rolls out. He's going to get sacked. He tries to throw it, and then he fights off the sack. And then instead of throwing it to the ground in front of his tight end, he tries to make a completion to his tight end, which is a pick six. 6 points for the Houston Texans.
I saw that. I saw that.
The ability for a QB who is a starter in the NFL to not be aware enough to just throw the ball out.
In not only just a starting QB, one in year 7.
Yeah. A QB in year 7 to not have the mental ability to know where he is, if he gets tackled, it's a safety. He's currently getting tackled. Let's not just throw it out and start over. Let's try and make a completion here. I mean, dog mentality, but it did not work out for him. So he is our first fail. and we have to say we're wrong. Everybody makes mistakes here. We were wrong trying to say that he deserved more than a 71 overall rating. But our win for White Man of the Week is a boy I have also been wrong about.
He's back?
Mr. Stetson Bennett is back. And I have to say, after watching him in the preseason, he is looking fantastic. He had a game-winning drive, first game of the preseason, with a game-winning touchdown. I forget who it was, but ice in his veins.
Look, I said it back then. I'm going to say it again. Stetson Bennett, elite quarterback in the NFL.
He got rid of some other substances in his veins and he replaced it with ice. And he is looking great. So here we go for his stats in the preseason so far. 437 yards, first in the NFL for the preseason. 2 TDs. He's tied for third. And then 5 interceptions. Tied
Jeez.
for 91st, though. So that just shows you how many flippant interceptions are being thrown in the preseason.
Like you tonight. That's right. We need to talk about that. You got your fucking ass beat tonight by me.
I don't remember that.
You threw about 7 picks tonight. You were playing with the Rams. I beat you with the Chargers.
Was I dripping?
Beat the Bucks with the Jags.
Was I dripping?
I don't know, but Baker Mayfield fumbled about 3,000 times in that game.
Wasn't me then. Anyways, that concludes our first week of White Man of the Week. Stetson Bennett is our winner this week.
Let's go.
I don't know how I'm going to post his face up on here anymore, but we will just throw it into our memories. Stetson Bennett, congratulations. You have won the trophy, the most highest rated trophy in the NFL, if I say so myself. You deserve it, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty.
So as you guys can tell, this is a whole different vibe. we may or may not have forgotten to hit the record button, and I may or may not have come down with a sickness.
Yeah, so last night was a giant party. We didn't even start recording, I think, till 1 because we were just playing video games, drinking. And then we recorded the front half, second half.
Shambles.
I forgot to hit record. And Dev spent 30 minutes of it off camera, almost yakking in a toilet, trying to hold himself together.
I did. I made it through. Puke free since 23, baby. We hold that title.
Oh yeah, brother. But this is what we did last night. It saved. Thank God. This was us 1,000 calories of alcohol deep, ranking the rookies on how good they're going to do this year.
Do we still hold true to this?
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, now that I'm sober, let me look through this. Honestly, when we're drunk, we're aiming true,
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah,
that's iron sights at 100 meters.
Yeah, I don't think I would change a thing.
No Donald Trump bars.
Yeah. I don't think I would.
I don't think I'd change a thing. So let's run through it then, top to bottom, or let's go bottom to top. JJ McCarthy is in the Michael Penix Jr. category. Zane did not make that category.
Yes, I did not.
The quiz or the ranking came that way, but JJ is out for the year. You guys know this, so
meniscus.
He's not going to do anything. So he's at the bottom of the ranking there. And by the way, we're just going off of the rookies that we've talked about, we've paid attention to, and we think are actually going to be relevant talking points this year.
Yeah. And then obviously for bench, we have Drake May and Michael Penix. They both have people above them that are going to start over them. So they will be on the bench this year, most likely, unless somebody gets hurt or Jacoby Brissett just cannot throw the football. But I doubt that's going to happen. So it just makes sense to put them both on bench because that's where they're going to be.
And then we have not bench, but could be better, Rome Odunze, and is that Xavier Worthy? That's his name, correct? So fastest man in NFL history.
We were drunk when we made the list. If that isn't Xavier Worthy, okay, that was drunk me, not sober me.
But fastest man in NFL history of a 40.
We have to see how he deals with big body corners. Like if he just gets shut down, if they just press him every single game and he can't get off the line, it's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, so we'll see what he ends up being, but he's behind he's behind quite a few guys, and then Rome is basically, I think he's going to end up being buried in the depth chart. Now, the big thing here with Rome that's boom or bust is if Keenan Allen gets hurt. He has an injury history. So it's very possible that we see him take a leap at some point in the season and take on a bigger role. But
But
I
looking
think
at
personally
it,
he's going to be a tied for 2, probably the 3.
yeah, looking at it right now, you have Cole Kmet, you have DJ Moore, you have Keenan Allen, and then you have Rome Odunze. That's a lot of balls to spread around. Pause. But it is a lot of balls to spread around, and it's
That's
a
6
hard
balls.
bet. That's 6 balls to spread across the field. That's 50 yards wide, 100 yards in length.
It's a lot of balls.
A lot of balls, not so much room. It's just you can't bet on a guy who has that much talent overshadowing him in his rookie year.
All right, and
Now,
then
good. This is
good.
both. This is funny because this is my pick, and then this is your pick. And good.
Yeah, so you take yours and then I'll take mine.
Xavier Legette. Who's he competing with? 36-year-old Adam Thielen. I mean, he's a big body boy. He's super fast, super athletic. I've heard a lot of people say that he can really take the top off of a defense. We'll be able to see what Bryce Young can actually do with an actual weapon. I think he's going to be the clear number 1 for the Panthers. I think he's going to get a lot of play.
He's the face of the meme that's going around on TikTok that we were memeing about last night. It's just, have you seen the one where it's just him speaking gibberish where he's like, I don't know. Like, he is the face of that because it's just nonsense. Like, you can't, if you're not really paying attention.
I told him go get me, and then we're gonna go down.
And then Bo Nix, I actually just wrapped up right before. It was kind of perfect timing because I got to watch his first 2 drives of the last preseason game that the Broncos are playing against the Packers. Currently, Jared Stidham's playing now, but Bo Nix got the 1 spot and got his first 2 drives as a starter. Finished his game, basically 2 scoring drives, a field goal, and a touchdown. Saw a lot of encouraging things.
That it's always good when a rookie in preseason can get points on the board. They can lead,
especially. And granted, it's the 1 spot, but it's also the last preseason game, so a lot of stars aren't playing. But a lot of the things that were talked about, that I watched, that I saw, QB breakdown, so on and so forth, that I just saw personally in the first couple games, he was coachable. Like, I didn't see those same mistakes, at least a lot of them in this. He did have on the first drive where they had a field goal. It was a touchdown. He ended up crossing the line of scrimmage, throwing a ball, scrambling. It ended up in a field goal anyways, but I think he's going to be good. Potentially, I think he's got the ceiling to be runner-up if everyone on the Broncos stays healthy, if they're winning, if they win more football games than are expected. He definitely could be in that. But
I mean, it's
assuming that everything goes sort of to plan, they win 5 to 7 games somewhere in there, he's going to be looked at as really pretty good, but not rookie of the year numbers.
Yeah,
the numbers just won't back it up.
Yeah, you also got to be able to run the ball to be successful in the NFL, and that's a little iffy in Denver.
Are you talking about the running backs? Or you're talking
running
about
backs. I'm talking about running backs.
Yeah, the offensive line, dude. And I was looking at this because you brought up the running game in general, and one thing I forgot to bring up with that, we turned on our O-line pretty quick last year. We were bottom half of the league. We were, I think it was either PFF ranked, it was either 7 or 15. I can't remember. But they looked better in this last preseason game. Watching the ones play looked much better. So that'll be the big question there to see if he gets run support. But Bo Nix has wheels. He is athletic. He's sneaky athletic for White Boy. So I'm looking forward to it. They've got him in a ton of play action right now. Run pass option, RPO. Yeah,
it's going to be big for an Oregon guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then the runner-ups for Rookie of the Year, obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams, and Malik Neighbors. But I like saying Nabers. I think it sounds better. Obviously, these guys.
So start with Marvin Harrison because that's your Rookie of the Year pick.
Here's the thing. I heard you talk about the Arizona Cardinals and all they've done. The 12 picks, the A+ draft trade, how they've completely
draft grade.
I'm not even drunk. This is just me normally. I can't speak. Sean Alexander. He's the quarterback for the Seahawks, apparently.
What?
Gilgis Alexander. You remember? Okay, I'm bringing back an old thing that I said, like Gilgis
Oh.
Alexander.
Oh, okay.
Forget it. But Marvin Harrison Jr., if they play like I think they will play, they will be, like Devin has said, like a playoff team. And I think it's going to be on the back of Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he's going to get most of the balls going there. And there was a stat that when Kyler Murray came back and James Conner came back, James Conner had the most amount of yards per carry when Kyler Murray was back on the field. So their run game does work when Kyler Murray is on the field. It just depends on if Kyler Murray's there to be able to scramble or open up the defense and then make plays to Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he has the athletic ability to be rookie of the year statistically, because I don't think wide receiver wise, there is that much talent that is going to take away a lot of balls from him.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's clear cut the number one option, and his numbers very well could back it up. I just think the numbers are going to be video game for Jaden Daniels, but we'll get to him in a second. So Caleb Williams there.
Obviously, you can't count him out as much as we've talked shit during his draft. He's looked amazing in the preseason, and we always knew that he was going to be a guy. We just don't know if he's going to be Patrick Mahomes level of a guy,
Day one,
which is what everybody kind of had been alluding to during the draft, is that he's the next big thing. So but we definitely think he's going to be top 10 percentile of guys from this class for sure.
Yeah, I think he's going to have I think he'll have a CJ Stroud caliber year, and I don't I could definitely see him winning rookie of the year. I just want to go kind of off the beaten path, and I think it makes a ton of sense for Jaden. And then the last one that we have there is Malik Neighbors. He's in New York.
Yeah, he's in New York with Danny Dimes. We've talked about Danny
that's the
Dimes.
only one thinking about this that I kind of want, that I would put maybe in good, just because it's Danny Dimes throwing in the ball, and he's been a wreck in preseason so far. So
it looks like
he's only
playing,
can go down.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing with his helmet on backwards. But my thought process was with this is that Danny Dimes, if he wants to win games, he is only going to use this athletic specimen that's on his team, and he's not going to throw to anyone else.
But that's the thing, though, is you got to complete the ball, and it's if he's playing this way in preseason, then
in that preseason game he went 11 for 18. Right, what I am predicting is that 9 to 8 of those completions are to Malik Neighbors. In those terrible games where he only completes 11 balls, in the 9 of those are to Malik Neighbors.
Do you think statistically he can overcome the winning part of it? As rookie's not really about winning, but he can overcome a lot of it because he's just going to be fed.
I think the amount Danny Dimes, I don't know why we keep calling him Danny Dimes. But I think
his nickname.
Yeah, I don't know why, because he hasn't dropped dimes at least in a couple of years. But I think he's going to rely solely on Malik Neighbors, and I think that's why he'll be runner up. He's not going to rely on anybody else. They don't have a run game. They gave away Saquon Barkley. Who else is there? Slayton retired. They don't have anybody else except for a couple of promising wide receivers, but they aren't number ones.
No. So then that leads us to my pick for rookie of the year. It's going to be Jaden Daniels. I just think statistically it's going to be video game numbers, because he's got all the weapons. They've got the run game. They've got pass catching backs too. That's going to be the big difference there, because both the backs they have are elusive in the open field, and if the O-line isn't great, they can shift to the check down or the screen and get those guys in space. Just get your playmakers in space, and Jaden Daniels is more than capable of that. And then on top of that, he's got the rushing numbers. That's gonna be the separator for me from him to Caleb in this rookie year specifically. Now, over the breadth of their careers, it will probably lean Caleb, because he's got more longevity in that way.
It's a stellar team that's been built around Caleb.
Right. It's the same argument. It's literally the same argument between Lamar and Patrick Mahomes. Lamar, if he does, which he's shown flashes, if he doesn't really become a really elite pocket passer, because I would say right now he is great, but I wouldn't say he's elite. If he doesn't become elite, his career will get tapered off early. Not saying that
Yeah.
he's going to be bad. He's obviously won 2 MVPs, but it'll get tapered off earlier than Patrick Mahomes. Same thing here. Jaden Daniels can really throw the ball from the pocket. One of the best passes in preseason probably came from him on like his third pass on a third down. But the rushing numbers that he can potentially put up in Washington will probably, to me, separate him from Caleb, at least in the rookie year, and really get everyone up in arms about this guy's going to be the next Lamar.
Yesterday, you said Joe Mixon is on the team. Is that true now that Sober You is here?
Yes.
Joe Mixon is there? Okay.
I believe so.
I
Let me
thought
double check.
he was somewhere else, but
Let me double check. But
I will say what Washington is known for. They're not known for a lot of great things, but at least last year they were known for having an incredible offense that put up a lot of numbers. It was just like
sorry, it's not Joe Mixon. It's Austin Eckler.
Eckler,
which goes to my point even more that he's a pass catching back.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
But they did lose their offensive coordinator, who did have that season where they were just putting up crazy numbers. But it's still the only sort of thing that is like their what am I looking for here? Their personality on the team is that their offense goes crazy. It's Scary Terry, Josh Downs. They picked up a couple of guys, obviously the running backs. So I think their offense for sure will keep that train moving of just being able to rack up yards and touchdowns, but they will lose games because of their defense.
And it'll be empty yards probably too.
Yeah.
He'll have games where he'll probably throw for 300, 300 plus, and the score will be like 34-17. Like they won't score touchdowns probably, unless he ends up just being a revelation, but it'll be empty yards, but the numbers will be there for sure. I think the numbers will be there. And they'll be in games. I think they're going to be in a lot of games, and they're going to win more games than we think, but they're going to be in a lot of games just because they've got the offensive firepower, but ultimately their defense can't stop a wet napkin.
Alrighty. Do we want to go straight into the predictions?
Yeah, we can go into the predictions. So we'll do Niners. We're going to do Niners again. I have some revisions I need to make. So
yeah, you started. I don't know if you're going to make them better or worse, but listening to it last night, it was just like it felt like you were giving them a win for every single person. So I don't know if you're going to make it better. I'm excited to find out if it's better or worse than what you did last night.
So starting off week 1, they play the Jets at home. And we don't know what we're going to get. And let me preface this going into these predictions. I'm assuming Brandon Ayuk is gone come week 1. But obviously Trent Williams is there. So Jets week 1, we don't know what we're going to get from Aaron Rodgers. This is Monday Night Football. I'm going to say this is a win for the Niners just because the defensive matchup is going to be great, but it's going to be Aaron Rodgers' first game back, and the Niners just have more chemistry. There's more consistency there. So week 1 win for the Niners. In week 2, they head to Minnesota to play the Vikings. This is 10 a.m. on a Sunday.
Ooh.
So early game, part of that early game slot, 11 o'clock my time. This is going to be a win for the Niners. This is a sneaky spot for me. I feel like Vikings might pop out here just for no reason and make this sort of an interesting game down the stretch, have some sort of weird comeback in like the third quarter or something and make the game semi-interesting, but ultimately win for the Niners in week 2. Heading into week 3, they go to Los Angeles to play the Rams, and this is an in-division game. It's early year. Rams hopefully will be healthy early year, but it's still the Niners. They're going to start the year off 3-0.
3-0. All right.
3-0. Heading into week 4, they've got the Patriots. We don't need to talk about it any more than that. 4-0. Heading into week 5, they play the Cardinals. I talked about the Cardinals last week. I don't think they're good enough to beat the Niners. So this is 5-0 heading into week 6.
Starting off very similar from last night.
Heading into week 6, they play the Seahawks in Seattle. This is Thursday Night Football. Oddly enough, this is a weird Thursday Night Football game.
Well, it's because it's like a historic rivalry. well, not historic, but
Yeah.
the Colin Kaepernick, Russell Wilson kind of kicked off a rivalry, Seahawks 49ers type thing.
Yeah. So you're gonna hate this, but it's 6-0 going into week 7.
Yeah, I can
This
see that one for
Seattle's
sure.
just not good enough in any way to make this an interesting game. And this is where things turn on. You talked about it in your Chiefs predictions, and that's who they're playing at home in week 7. First real test to me to this point. They've had cakewalk games up to this point, but they played the Chiefs. And as you said in your prediction of the Chiefs, this is where they're going to turn it on. I'm going to give this game to the Chiefs. There's just something mentally, I think, for every quarterback and every team in the NFL outside of Joe Burrow, that there's just something mentally, especially losing to them in the Super Bowl just months prior, that he's got a little bit better receivers. The defense is a little bit younger. I'm going to give this game to the Chiefs. So the Niners are 6-1 heading into week 8, playing the Cowboys. This game, I think, for some people probably is close. I don't think it's that close, for the simple fact that the Cowboys still at this point won't have a run game. And I think it'll be sort of close in the first half.
Elliott's back in Dallas. You know?
Rico Dowdle. It'll be close in the first half. I think that Dallas has enough firepower to keep in the passing game to keep things interesting for the first half. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, coming out in the second half, the Niners will separate here. So I'm going to give this game to the Niners too.
Yeah, you know how Nick Bosa plays against certain QBs.
7-1 heading into week 9. This is a bye. They lose, of course. And then week 10, they head to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. Nice warm game early on a Sunday, coming off the bye, playing Baker and Mike Evans. They just paid their safety. I don't see the Bucs having anywhere near enough firepower to deal with a Niners team that's just hot in general throughout the year.
Defense is pretty stacked though.
I just don't think it's enough. I think the Niners are just better overall. So I'm going to give this game to the Niners too. Heading into week 11, they play the Seahawks again. In division game later in the year. I've said this and I'm going to keep saying it. The Seahawks are going to be trying out quarterbacks post week, probably maybe at this point, but definitely by week 12, they're going to be just seeing what they've got in different guys. And Geno could end up missing a couple games too if he's hurt. I don't think they're going to be pushing for the playoffs, so it won't really matter. Week 11, this is a win for the Niners, 9-1 heading into week 12. They play the Packers in Lambeau. Jordan Love, Jair Alexander. No, he's gone. Who's their number one right now? Josh Jacobs. But who's their number one receiver? Why can't I think of his name? Jalen Reed. Jalen Reed. In Lambeau. Romeo Dobbs. This is a November game on a Sunday, 1:00 time slot. It's starting to get nasty in Lambeau. That's when that's when Lambeau starts to have their advantage. I'm going to give this game to the Packers. We saw what they have the capability to do in the playoffs against the Niners last year. We thought that they were going to pull this win out. We thought we were going to see them in an NFC Championship game. I think it's completely plausible, and I haven't looked at the Packers record or their schedule, but this is going to be a big test for them later in the year to see what they're made of for the postseason. I think they get the job done, beat the Niners, and hand them their second loss on the year. So week 13, they are heading to Buffalo now, and these are back-to-back, probably their toughest games of the year. They're playing Buffalo week 13 in Buffalo, another nasty, cold game. This is Sunday Night Football. All right. In December 1st. It's a win for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is on his tear right now, on his revenge tour without Stephon, showing that he can be that he is one of the most elite quarterbacks. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he should be revered like one. So I'm going to give this to the Bills here, handing the Niners their third loss on the year. They head in week 14 back home to play the Chicago Bears. Sunday, 1 o'clock game, regularly scheduled. They're going to do away with the Bears. The Bears have a good defense, but Caleb has been going through it. A lot of controversy throughout the year. They're better than the Bears. They're better overall. They're just a better unit than the Bears. I'm going to give this game to the Niners 10-3 heading into week 15. They play the Rams. This is another in-division game. Only difference here, I'm hoping Rams are healthy late year. Yeah. They're again going to be trying to make a push for the playoffs. I think they'll come up short. I'm going to give this game to the Rams.
I like that. The only problem is Aaron Donald's not there anymore, so we don't know how their defense is going to be. But I do like how the Rams play at the end of the year when they are healthy. They always turn it on at the end of the year, so I can see it happen.
Yeah, I can see it. And this is just going to be, I think this will just come down to who's got more balls, Matthew Stafford or Brock Purdy. And Matt Stafford's a gunslinger. And if you give him the ball with 2 minutes to go, I would take him over Purdy. He's going to throw a lot of balls. I would take him over Purdy in a 2-minute drill. So I'm going to give this one to the Rams here, late season, 10-4, heading into week 16. They head to Miami, nice and warm, little switch up from what they've been dealing with these last couple weeks. They're in Miami. It's December, so it's not going to be so hot. It'll be warm though. I'm expecting Tua probably to be retiring from the league at this point with his next concussion. Right.
No, they're making helmets for that. They're making helmets with big pillows in the back here. He could get a prototype for all we know.
He could. I think the Niners beat the Dolphins here late down the stretch is when the Dolphins kind of turn into the Cowboys and let things slip. And if they're in any sort of pressure situation down the stretch, Tua is not built for it, in my opinion. So this is a win for the
problems
Niners
as well. He got hurt last year.
Yeah, could be. So I'm going to give this one to the Niners too. Week 17, they play the Lions at home. Detroit is cooking. They're making a statement. They're finishing the year out strong. You said boom yesterday for them to make the Super Bowl. I'm right there with you. They're my NFC Super Bowl pick. Yeah. So they are going to beat the Niners in a close game. Dan Campbell's not going to go for it on a crucial 4th down, and they're going to win this game. So I'm going to go Lions win here.
Yeah, and when it comes to star power, I've said it before, but not when we were recording, is that when it comes to star powers, the Lions look basically like the 49ers, but just a younger team in general.
Yeah, just a younger team. And I think, and especially this year, there's no questions about the hierarchy that I've talked about, right? There's no grumbling with Brandon Ayuk and Debo. It's Amon-Ra and then everybody else, right? Yeah. And then the run game. So I'm going to give this win to the Lions. They are 11-5 heading into week 18, playing the Cardinals in Arizona. To be determined when this game is going to be played, but I have the Cardinals losing to the Niners last game of the year, so I'm going to go the same way here. The Niners will pull this one out, ending the year 12-5, which then plays into my idea that the Lions are the number 1 seed in the NFC. They've got the bye. The Cardinals are, based on my prediction last week, 10-7. They're not that far behind the Niners, but obviously there's a large skill gap in terms of who they're playing and what the games look like. So definitely NFC Championship for the Niners. If they don't make it, it's not a successful season. But 12-5, worse record than last year. Will we see a CMC drop off? Who knows? But that's where we're going.
Alrighty, I am doing the Titans. What's funny is yesterday I had them with a terrible record. Let me accept cookies so I can get hacked really quick.
You do love your cookies.
I do love my cookies, but I saw a couple of things. There's some rumblings going on that the Titans are going to be sneaky good this year with the Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, and everything that they've done. I don't know
Tyler
too
Boyd,
much. Yeah,
Tony
Tyler Boyd.
Pollard. They added L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, they've picked up a lot of men, so it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, week 1 versus the Chicago Bears. This is going to be a win because this is going to be a stellar performance. They're going to show what they've done in the offseason. They're going to pick up a win against the rookie and show them that, like, hey, Will Levis is here to stay because he's the greatest quarterback ever. Week 2 versus the Jets. Obviously, they get destroyed by the Jets. No matter if the Jets win or lose week 1, they're either going to bounce back or they're going to continue their streak and they're going to destroy the Titans. And then we go to week 3 against the Green Bay Packers. This is the same scenario. It doesn't matter if the Packers could be 0-2 at this point, and they will probably beat the Titans. They're just that good. Week 4 versus Miami. I don't expect anyone to be hurt on the Dolphins yet. If this was like a week 7, then I could kind of like just maneuver my way in to give them a win here, but they lose. And then week 5 is a bye. They lose, of course. And then week 6, questions here about Anthony Richardson. I've said it before. When you look at a guy who with a team that looks great with their backup, you assume that with their starter, they're also going to be great. But there have been very precise small moments in time to where you look at the Eagles who won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, and you're like, they are going to be absolutely insane when Carson Wentz gets back on the horse and he starts running with this team because he's the starter. And then what happened? Carson Wentz didn't work out. They had to look for a new QB. Could this potentially be the same thing? It's sort of similar scenarios with Anthony Richardson coming back to this team. They're expected to be great, but I am maneuvering my way to get a Titans win here week 6 against the Colts.
2-3 heading into week 7.
Week 7, Buffalo Bills. They lose. We're going to rapid fire these next 2 weeks. Week 8 for the Detroit Lions. They lose. Week 9 versus the Patriots. You have
Good game.
a man who puts mayonnaise in his coffee, and you have, I guess, Drake may or may not be started. Who knows?
We
but
don't know.
This team, it's a QB battle. They're not going to be a consistent team. We don't know how they're going to do. I'm going to give this a win for the Titans just based off of how much, like, they do have pretty good weapons. We just don't know how they're going to be. And then week 10, it's the same scenario week 10. Oh, I should have done a Mayo reference to the mayonnaise in the coffee. God, that's where I was trying to go. My brain just didn't connect it. Week 10 with the Chargers. Chargers are going to be awful this year. So Titans are going to beat the Chargers. Week 11 versus the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold is the starter. J.J. McCarthy's not there. Justin Jefferson's still there. They still have a great offense, great defense. I am actually going to say that this is a loss for the Titans. I see week 11 Vikes. They figured everything out. They know what they're trying to be, and they're going to beat the Titans here. And then week 12 versus one of the greatest rookies we've ever seen grace the field in the NFL. We just can't. We can't hold a candle to CJ Stroud right now. Maybe more sponsorships. Especially with Stephon. It's going to be tough. We're going to lose to the Texans. Week 13, this is a defense. This comes down to the defense here. Can the Titans defense stop Scary Terry? Can Snead stop? I kind of think they could as well.
I think they could. I think so.
This is a coin flip, but I'm going to give it to my boys. This is a win for the Commanders. Week 14.
Mayo.
I absolutely despise the Jaguars because Devin loves them. So Jaguars lose to the Titans.
I can see that. That's an in-division game. I can totally see that, though.
Okay, so week 15, playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow is healthy. He is not going to get re-injured. And they are pushing for the playoffs. They're pushing to meet Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs and knock them out, killing that three-peat hopes. So they're going to be on top of things. There's going to be no rest days for them because they are on a mission. So this is going to be a dominant game from Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. They're going to kill us. And then week 16, as we've said, here's the problem with what I said at the beginning of this is that the Colts do look great with a backup. Maybe it's just Gardner Minshew. I just heard that he just currently won the spot in Vegas. So congrats to him. But It could also just be the coaching, and it could also just be that the team, no matter the QB, is just that damn good. So there is a possibility that if what I said comes true and Anthony Richardson does look terrible, there's a chance by week 16 they throw in another backup, and just because the team and the coaching is so damn good that they look like they did last year.
And who is that backup?
Joe flippin' Flacco.
Let's go.
There is a possibility, if what I said at the beginning of this comes true, that Joe Flacco is rerunning the Brown season. And as we know, he looks flippin' fantastic. And this is the perfect team for this sort of scenario with Joe Flacco. With the coaching and the guys that
I'll
they
be
have.
so hyped, bro, because he'll actually have a running game to lean on. Oh my god!
So
and if he gets to make the playoff, if they make the playoffs in the AFC behind Joe,
I think we'll put out a video like being like, this is why I think Joe Flacco needs to be he needs to be talking about like one of the greatest of all time if he makes the playoffs.
Honestly.
Yeah, that 2 years in a row, two different teams coming in at the end of the season. That would be
just slinging the rock.
Just slinging the rock. So this is, I'm predicting, going to be a loss, no matter who the QB is. I think the Colts, they're very adaptable and they're very great at playing good football, no matter the odds, no matter what's going on inside the locker room. So I think they will have figured it out by now. Could be that Joe Flacco is the starting QB, but they're gonna beat the Titans here. Alrighty, and then in week 17, still obviously highest paid quarterback in the league on that team. It was a very competitive game last season, and all that. What have the Jags done? Do you know? I think they've gotten rid of Calvin Ridley, and that's it. What have they gotten?
That's pretty much it. I don't think they've added anything off the top of my head. I can't think of any names they've added off the top.
Yeah, so they got rid of Calvin Ridley. They gave Calvin Ridley to the Titans. Now the Titans are meeting the Jags in week 17.
Revenge game.
They already previously beat them, and now it's end. It's the end of the season. I don't think the Jags are going to be that good this year.
And it's in season, it's in division, excuse me. So this game really matters late year, where I'm sure that the Jags are going to be battling with the Colts for who's going to win the division and get the playoff spot. So
yeah, I'm going to do it again. Titans go 2-0 versus the Jags. I'm sorry, Jags fans out there.
Look, that's their Super Bowl though, for real. That game, it probably, if it comes down to it, I'm not surprised if that's their Super Bowl, because I don't think, with how competitive the AFC is, we're only getting one playoff team out of that division, and that's who wins the division. So if they want to make the playoffs, they got to win the division, and the Titans have the opportunity to bounce them most likely in week 17. That's their Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I think they can get it done. I think they're going to be sneaky good. They've moved a lot.
By week 17, Trevor's going to be so unlocked.
Yeah, he's going to be. I think it was late season when we got that beautiful, beautiful video of Trevor Lawrence getting hurt and then slamming his fist on the ground and looking like a little child. We did get that. And
we got that absolute insane game. Remember that we watched with Beathard?
Oh, yes, dude.
Dude, that game was nuts. I got to look back. I want to rewatch that game. That game was crazy.
Yeah. And the reason why we're dragging this out so long is because week 18 is versus the Texans. And the Texans are for sure looking to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think they are going to be in the playoffs. And unless they are somehow the first seed and they are just trying to rest CJ and Stephon Diggs so they don't play in week 18, that's the only way I could see the Titans coming out of this on top. But I don't think that'll be the case. I don't think they're going to be the first seed in their division. I mean, they could be, very well could be, but they lose. Titans lose to the Texans, obviously. CJ Stroud, the man, the myth, the legend, already becoming a legend after just 1 year.
Oh, I forgot. They've got, scroll up for a second. Damn, they've got 3 division games down the stretch. No, you can go back down. Just the last 3 is what I need to see. Colts, Jags. Yeah, they've got 3 division games to end the year. That's going to be that's a gauntlet just because it's division games. Bro. And it might be closer than we think, because
they actually have a really hard schedule, dude.
Colts are beginning. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Jags, Colts, Texans is gonna be a
That's what I'm
dogfight.
saying is
Titans,
that
whoever the Titans beat in that 3-game stretch, if they beat any of them, they're gonna spoil playoff hopes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that like I don't think the Texans are going to sit CJ or Stephon because the Colts are also here. So I think it's going to be
Right.
competitive versus them. It maybe the Jags might be competitive, but I think it's going to be
Not lit.
I don't think it's going to be a clear guy like it was with San Francisco where Brock Purdy doesn't have to play. I think the last 2 weeks or at least the last week.
Like Texans will probably be Texan. I don't know. Maybe there will be 2 teams out of this division in the playoffs. I got to look at the AFC as a whole. Maybe we'll do that next week since it's the last week before I come up to make our predictions.
Yeah, but this is a hard schedule. I mean, 3 division games, and then you have the Bengals. You have,
Texas,
you have Houston again, and then this is your
Lions.
easy one. You have Minnesota, Chargers, Patriots, and then you get the Lions, the Bills, the Colts again, and the Dolphins, and then the Packers, the Jets, and then the Bears week 1. Like this is a tough schedule.
That's a tough schedule.
It's a very
they
tough
made some
schedule.
improvements, but
it's a new coach there too.
This is the other thing too that I feel bad for them is that they're going to have to. Titans fans don't call for Will Levis's head this year. It's like they added pieces, yes, but this is a tough schedule, and he's gonna falter. He's gonna have some games where you're like, dear Jesus, if he throws another pick, I'm gonna lose my mind. But you gotta just lock and load and be hyped when he goes and trucks a 250-pound linebacker. Those are your Super Bowl moments right there. Don't call for his head. Don't call for his head. Don't call for the coach's head this year. This is a tough schedule. Yes, they added pieces, but it will probably look up. And this division is going to be really tough, man. Like AFC South over the next 5 years might end up looking a lot like that Bengals division, the Bengals Ravens division, because they've got it's quarterbacks across the board. It's good teams potentially in the next 5 years across the board. This is going to be a really competitive and interesting division. The records may not reflect it every year, but it's going to be but in division, it's just going to be competitive for who wins it.
Yeah, I think as long as Will Levis stays being Will Levis, because he did that last year. He was throwing picks. Like you never know if he's a good quarterback or not. You couldn't tell. But like we all loved him because he threw a pick and then he went and he got it back. He threw a pick and then he put his face and a 300-pound defensive lineman on the goal line.
End zone.
In the end zone. He didn't have to.
It wasn't even on the goal line. It was even on the goal line. I saw it today. I was watching it. I was like, dude was already in the end zone, and Will just like.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that, but he did do it. And I think if he continues to play like that, he might definitely get hurt. Right, that if he does continue to play like that, but at the same time, the fans will continue to love him as I have grown to love watching him play the position of quarterback for that team.
It looks 7-10 is nothing to be ashamed of. That's a good record.
Especially this schedule, dude.
For the schedule they've got and the division they're in and trying to be somewhat competitive. Yeah, that's nothing to be ashamed of.
If Will looks more consistent this year, I would say that's a ginormous improvement because this is the guy who threw 3 TDs to DeAndre Hopkins, and then the next game DeAndre like barely even got the ball. Like he's just not a consistent quarterback, but he plays really hard. So if he's a consistent guy,
rookie year. This is rookie year. This is year 2. We'll see.
If he stops making stupid mistakes to where he does have to put his body on the line to keep his position at quarterback, then he will. I count that as a win, and I think most.
I want to see them run him this year. He's fucking yacked, dog. I want to see. Dude. I want to see him in RPOs. He's got a cannon. Yeah. I want to see him.
Yeah, it's also just like how much do you believe in Will? Because if you don't believe that he's your Super Bowl winning quarterback, use him to his full advantages. Try and get a lot of wins here. Do some RPOs. Use his physicality to your advantage. And if he gets hurt, you as an organization already think he's not going to be the guy that gets you a Super Bowl. So just let him loose.
And if you do end up losing this year, unfortunately, sometimes you just gotta like throw in the towel. There's a couple good quarterbacks coming out this year, and if it doesn't end up being 7-10 and you've got a bad enough record, then you'll have a quarterback battle and you'll really see what Will's made of then in year 3. So there you go, 7-10 Titans.
I think they're going to be very surprising this year.
Yeah, I think they're going to be in a ton of
Will they win
games.
games? Maybe not, but I
But they're
think
gonna be
they
in
are going to
games.
look great.
Yeah, I think they're going to be in a lot of games. It's going to be close. They're going to be in a lot of games, but just end up not pulling it out.
Yeah, I predict they'll be third in the division with a hard fought games. Obviously, I
Jags are
troll.
going to be bottom.
Yeah, obviously I troll, but like those Jag games are going to be very hard fought. But it was a competitive game last year. The Jags haven't gotten any better. I can see some hard fought games to where they end up third in their division.
I can see it.
It's all on Will Levis and how he does though.
Yeah.
Alrighty, these are the jerseys. These are the people who think that these should have been God tier jerseys. We looked them up yesterday, so we know what they look like. Vikings Winter Warrior. Where do we rank Vikings Winter Warrior?
I think I had these in
all-whites.
great, and I stick with it. I don't think they're elite, but I would put them in great for sure.
It just depends. I don't know if it's the Winter Warriors. It might be the whites and the silver numbers. You remember those?
I think it's maybe it is, but I hope they're talking about the purple helmets, white jersey, purple numbers, because those go really hard. If that's what they're talking about, I'm in. If it's the silvers, I'm out.
We'll see. We'll see. I put those great as well. Okay, Dolphins throwback number 1s. We looked at those yesterday.
They're the same, just with more orange.
Yes, they are. At least the ones that we saw, because when we search up Dolphins throwback number 1, there was like a number of different things that popped up.
I'm not gonna. Wherever we had them, I wouldn't move them. I would leave them where they are.
Leave them there. And then the Steelers All Blacks. I actually was a huge fan of the Steelers All Blacks. I think they're better than the Panthers All Blacks. I would put them in great, me personally. Great to elite for black jerseys, all black jerseys.
I would put them in good.
The yellow really pops off there. And then the Texas new alternates, the All Blacks. Those black jerseys. Those ones are tough. Whatever we had the Texans in, bump them up a spot for those.
Yeah.
Because we just ranked their reds, and their reds are tough. And now they're getting all those black jerseys. We'll bump them up there.
Yeah.
And then the 3 Seahawks throwbacks in God tier.
God, these are 8th grader jerseys, dude. I'm sorry. This is just like if you went to like an 8th grader who just had a Mountain Dew and you were like, what do you want the jerseys to look like? He's like, I want it to be this color, except brighter. And you're like, cool, dude.
Yeah, I think I'm not a fan of the bright neon green accents that they currently have on any of their jerseys, but even just their jerseys in general, I feel like there's just too much going on all the flipping time.
I just don't, and it just comes from our hometown and everyone being a Seahawks fan, but I just can't stand them. I just can't stand the franchise as a whole. It's so like Seattle just to me seems like this is the best way I can explain it. The Seahawks franchise and mascot and coloring and everything feels like an XFL team.
I could see that. Yeah, because it's
they're the XFL team.
Yeah, it's Seahawks. It's not a real animal.
It's just like it's like the XFL team that made it out. Like they made it out the XFL.
It's Battlehawks, but they're Seahawks.
Right. It just doesn't feel like, and their colors don't exude like tradition. I don't know. Like
their jerseys are very different from everybody else's. It's like they're still stuck in like 2010 with their jerseys.
Right. Like when they came into the league, and to me, it just feels like in 15, 20 years, no one's gonna be rocking a neon green Russell Wilson jersey, dog.
That is true.
No one's gonna be rocking that in 10 years.
I guess if you're a dude who wears camo, it kind of goes hard.
Ugh.
That's what I imagine. That's what I imagine the type of people that wear Seahawks jerseys. I mean, we're from North Idaho, so we are within that region that were Seahawks fans growing up. But now that we're older,
I never was. I was a Broncos
prefrontal
fan.
cortex has developed. We don't like them anymore. Okay, let's see the hairline. Let's see the hair. Has it gotten any better?
I think so.
Okay, you can't put your head up when we're looking at your hair.
I've got the widow's peak here, but I'm just gonna gel that up eventually so that it goes up. It's growing out a little bit still, but
I don't know, because this is the comment that we had yesterday. It's people were saying that it was a made up story because his hair looks so terrible. There's no possible way that he could have possibly gone to a barber and listened to that story. And it is funny because it is like, how much did you pay for that?
Like $30.
My mom cuts my hair, so I don't know if that's a steal or not.
It's not a steal. It's honestly
What did he
pretty
do? Like, what did he do that you just couldn't do with a razor?
fade the sides.
He faded. Let me see the sides. Obviously,
They're
me,
grown
the
out
white
now,
man,
but-
I definitely know what good faded sides look like.
They're grown out now, but like a week grown out, but
They look all right.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it looks better, dude. My hair was long, and with curly
you
hair,
have a
like,
canyon. You have a canyon coming through like the right side of your head.
I know, bro. Look, it's because that's the way my hair was sitting when it was long. It's gonna take like a couple weeks to get all my hair follicles to be sitting up straight in the way they should be. That's
All
part of
right.
the reason why I wanted to do it. Look,
We'll
give
check
me
back
a
in. We'll check
give
back
me
in.
let's check in week 1 of the season and see how my hair's looking. I'll be working on it, all right? And then we'll do weekly check-ins on how Devin's hair is coming along.
This
all
will
right?
be a new segment of the show. We just look at Devin's hair and how it's doing currently. Because obviously
Oh
my hair is
my
perfect.
God. I hope this becomes a thing and people just like and everyone's talking about when I get a haircut. That'll be so funny. All right, guys. Well, there you go. I'm Devin. That's Zane. This is Buffet Sports. If you guys want to be a part of our show, just like we went through just now, and we talked about comments, leave your take down below on whatever we're talking about on any video. We take the best comment from the whole week's social media, and then we talk about it. So if you want to be a part of it, go ahead and leave your take down below. While you're down there, of course, like the video if you liked it. Right next to that is the subscribe button. Bullshit.
Push
We
it
want
real
you
good.
guys to be a part of the first 1,000 Buffet Boy subscribers. We're on our way to that first 1,000. We've
It's like
pressed it over the
stocks.
halfway point.
Get in early.
Buy your stock now. Buy your stock now so you can say later on down the road that you guys were here first. We want to do something special for the first 1,000 subscribers. At least I do, because I care about you guys.
We
I
will
love
do.
you.
Here's the thing: if
We'll buy everyone a PS7.
I don't personally know if you can look at who your first like 1,000 subscribers were, but if we can,
Well, just when we
somehow-
hit the first 1,000. When we hit the first 1,000,
we'll go through. We'll take a bunch of screenshots, and then maybe eventually, if we got dough like that, you know what I'm saying?
dude, a
What
bug
was
just
that?
jumped on my camera. Bro, get out of here, bro. Get out of here.
But
Holy
if we got bread like a bakery, then first 1,000 subscribers, we'll probably do like exclusive giveaways for just those guys.
We'll probably do something along the lines of stickers or something. So we want to do something cool.
It's
We wanna
like
do something
stocks,
cool.
though. It could crash and burn, and then you get nothing, but it's free. So just buy in. Hope that it
Do
goes
it,
to the
buy in.
moon. Potentially, there's something at the very end of the line, like 5-6 years down the line for you.
Who knows? But we're on to some big things. You guys will see all of those big things unfolding in the weeks to come over the next 2 months ish. So stay tuned for that. For those of you who did make it to this point, leave a comment. Full course, boys, down below. We love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Zane's gonna haunt you in your dreams. Ciao.